How are you? In 2019, a research group from Ohio State University identified potential biomarkers of fibromyalgia. These were distinguished between fibromyalgia and other related illnesses like lupus, RA, and osteoarthritis. Often, fibromyalgia overlaps with other diseases and makes it difficult to determine if fibromyalgia also exists. This differentiating between illnesses will make getting an accurate diagnosis quicker because many people with fibromyalgia have taken up to 5 years just to get their diagnosis. So, here we go. These researchers discovered that there are characteristic proteins, sugars, or nucleic acids that are present in blood samples of fibromyalgia patients. A particular combination of these compounds is distinct from the compounds of other conditions. They call it a metabolic fingerprint. It's a specific range of chemicals that determines whether a person has fibromyalgia or not. They found clear, reproducible metabolic patterns in the blood of dozens of patients with fibromyalgia. They used vibrational spectroscopy technology. It can also determine the severity of the disease, fibromyalgia. A blood sample was used. This could lead to improved treatment options for patients. But this is just step one. The study hasn't been replicated with a larger sample size yet, but the 2019 study had 50 people with fibromyalgia, 29 with RA, 19 with osteoarthritis, and 23 with SLE, lupus. They were also allowed to continue on their medications, so whether that affected the results or not is yet to be seen. But in their published article, they stated, "We recorded the medications and there was no obvious medical signal effect that could be discerned." So as we know, with fibromyalgia, a patient could have small fiber neuropathy or another underlying condition like metabolic syndrome, which is high blood pressure, high blood sugar, abnormal cholesterol levels, or excess fat around the waist are part of the metabolic syndrome, and made it difficult for them to make a strong conclusion with that sample size of 50. Tesla's playing with his toy. Sorry about that. Apparently, they did a similar study of only 20 patients in 2013. Now, they want to do the same type of study and look at 500 patients. Well, it's been 3 years. And I'm not sure if that study has already begun or not, but their goal is to have the fibro test available within 5 years of that 2019 study. What I find frustrating is when I hear about someone with fibro feeling unsatisfied with their doctor, and it takes years to get help. We can have a multitude of symptoms, and doctors or even family see a person who looks healthy on the outside, but feels terrible on the inside. And a physician in a pain clinic might just go ahead and prescribe opioids that do nothing over the long haul but cause addiction. In my neck of the woods, doctors will not give opiates to people with fibromyalgia, period. And because fibro is a complex illness related to poor nerve signals, it isn't something that should be treated with opiates in the first place, according to another Ohio State University study. The skepticism by some doctors I find to be atrocious, and doctors who don't educate themselves on fibromyalgia is hard to understand. But on we go. So what's next? Their goal is to find a reproducible biomarker for identifying therapeutic targets for treatment. They're working on identifying specific chemicals that make up the fingerprint and whether these chemicals are already being targeted by current therapeutics. Then they plan to do further studies that target those particular new sites. So there's hope that it won't just be taking care of symptoms, but an eventual cure. They state a cluster of individuals with fibromyalgia and a sleep disturbance might be treated with a tricyclic agent, for example, to help treat pain and induce sleep. Alternatively, a patient with fibromyalgia whose major issue is cognitive slowing might best benefit from using a serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor. The researchers aim to have this test ready in 5 years. That's 2 years away. But in 2020, Ohio State University Innovation Foundation partnered with Exogen to develop the fibromyalgia test. That's significant. Exogen is an autoimmune diagnostic firm that will have commercial diagnostic development and marketing rights for the test. So it certainly sounds like Ohio State is working on it. The blood test is an exclusive worldwide license agreement. So what do you think? Is it just hype about nothing? Or are they onto something? I'd love to hear from you. I send you gentle hugs and support. Love you. What's the matter, Goldie? What you whining for? Hey, you hungry? I'm gonna feed you. 1 sec. Nucleic. They used vibrational spectra. They used vibrational spectra. When I find